Peacock 45. And guess what? I don't need any added protection today. I am well protected because I have the Wilson Combat Protector. How's that? Look at that baby. Yes, it's called the Protector. In fact, this is a new version of it. Okay, some of you who own Wilson Combat Firearms and the Protector have been making that for a number of years, I understand. This is a newer version of it, and we'll take a good look at what it is. Appreciate Wilson Combat sending this to us as a T&E gun, just as we appreciate Federal furnishing some food for it. Lots of good food. Oh, look at that. That's great. 9mm, you can tell it's a 9mm caliber. All right, and the short slide, the compact version, and of course all the cool stuff that these premium 1911 makers put on their firearms. All steel milled parts and all the good stuff, hand fitting, and we will look at that a little more closely. I'll probably even take it apart. We'll see if I'm brave. Okay, let's shoot the thing first though. See if it will fire. See if we can trust it to protect us, huh? Oh, got this wonderful Bill Wilson Combat holster too. Actually, because it has that rail on it, this is the only holster I have that'll really fit. So, as usual, I pull out the old do-all holster. All right, what should I shoot? How about that red target? It's a 9. Oh boy. I tried to get him on the fall. That would have been the shot of the century for me. Okay. Okay, I was pulling left or something there. Let's see if we can hit a plate. Ran out of ammo. That's lame. Let's put another magazine in it. Yeah, feels pretty good, I have to say. Soft drink. Let's see if we can pop a, what do you call those things, clay pigeons? Got one on the last shot. I don't know why they call those clay pigeons. I'm not sure what they are. Looks like they'd be handy for throwing, like a frisbee or something. All right, yeah, we've got a Wilson Combat. We got another one of these premium, high dollar. No, they're not high dollar. They're just premium 1911s. And yeah, I've talked about that before. They just do things right with these firearms the way they used to be done, probably in 1920. Lots of hand fitting and all of that. This one, as I said, is it's a newer model of the operator, and you can see what you got here. You got those that nice mag well. You got checkering everywhere. You got on the back strap. You got the round butt. I kind of like that. I'm kind of fond of the bobtail, but that's a bit of a more subtle rounded butt. That's pretty nice. It feels good to me. That should be on all 1911s at least. You know, really, it's a full length grip, and the front checkering is great. Of course, beaver tail. You know, things are just, it clicks in a positive way. Trigger is wonderful. Your sights are drift adjustable. You can move them laterally. And they seem to be right on. You got a fiber optic front sight, and you know, your serrations. You got serrations on top of the slide. You got serrations in the front and rear. So, you know, and your rail, of course. Now, I'm not a fan of rails. To me, if I was going into combat, or if I had a need to put a light on my firearm, obviously, wanted to put a light on it or anything else on it, I would want those. But I still takes away from the look and the feel of a 1911 for me. But I guess you'd have to admit it's very practical, right? So Wilson Combat is another one of those companies we've talked about, with Les Baer, Ed Brown, you know, Nighthawk, that make really nice 1911s. Now there are some boring stats and specs, you know, about the firearm, and I'm not going to go into too much of that. There's just a couple things I am, and really, unless you're a gun nut, a real shooting enthusiast, you're probably going to find them boring and lose respect for me. So if you would, if there's anyone in your room, your spouse, your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, who's not a real shooting enthusiast, a gun nut, as we might call it, right, affectionately, would you ask them to leave the room right now just for about a minute, please? Okay, they're gone. Okay, the MSRP on this gun is $3,000 plus, okay? It's over $3,000. You got that? Okay, you can have them come back in now. As I was saying, the MSRP on this gun is about 600 bucks, and it comes with these grips, which are really nice. I think they call those the Starburst grips. Okay, and I've never had those on, of course I've not had a Bill Wilson, a Wilson Combat firearm. And you know, it's got the long trigger, and if you're familiar with Wilson, they have I guess it's a trademark, but the parts like the mag release and what else, I think even the mag well, I know they're extractors because I've bought some of their extractors, and I think maybe even their safeties, they call their parts the bulletproof. It's like the bulletproof mag release and the bulletproof extractor, because that's a cool name, bulletproof. That indicates it's pretty strong, doesn't it? So I don't have to brag on these guns. I can't add a lot. I can't detract. I can't badmouth them, because if you know firearms, you know that Bill Wilson, the Wilson Combat, they make great firearms. All right, I'm not going to sell them. I'm not going to bash them. They're good guns, just like a lot of the others in this category. They're great guns. And you can't go wrong. You know, the hand fitting, the machine work. And I'm really happy to get one. I appreciate Wilson sending us this. You know, we had the Scattergun Tech shotgun. It's been almost 2 years now, maybe. So I've been very pleased. I feel very, I don't know about flattered, but privileged that they trust us with these things, because again, these things sell themselves. You know, they don't have to send them out if they don't want to very often. And I'd asked them a couple of years ago, so look, if you got a 1911, you know, we'd be glad to T&E it and, you know, shoot it sometime. And didn't push them. It's not a big deal really, but we have not been driven, John and I, to get some premium 1911s in here. You know, it's just, I admire them, I respect them, and I like them, but I know it's not something that everybody's looking for necessarily. But it's kind of neat, you know. If there's a gun that shoots and is functional and reliable, hey, I'll try it out. I like guns, if you haven't noticed. So let's, I'm gonna shoot one more mag, then I'll maybe take it apart for you, okay? Now, this thing, I have shot it enough to know that the sights are right on, right on. Like those little 12 ounces there. Let's just pop a couple of those. Now I'm gonna shoot, I haven't shot the gong yet. Let's try it. Okay, I'm moving around, but it hits right where it's pointed, and it has a nice trigger. So imagine that. Again, as I've said a lot recently, that's one of the things you get with the 1911. Oh, I had more ammo. You might not, let's shoot them. You might not like a 1911, but you can't really argue with how well they shoot if you have a good trigger. Okay, I got to redeem myself on that gong before we go any further. Okay, relax. Can't blame it on the firearm. Yeah, all right. I'm even going to focus and bear down and see if I can hit the red plate. Go. It is right on, bro. What'd I tell you? All right, you notice that barrel? I didn't quite like the looks of it when we got it, so I got my Dremel tool out. You see what I did to the barrel? I think that's a pretty good job. I got one of them off center, but the rest of them look pretty good. You know better than that, don't you? Let's make sure it's clear. Very clear. Okay, because to take it apart, it's a little more awkward for me. Notice you got your countersunk slide stop pin there, and that's cool and everything, but I have a little trouble sometimes getting it out. The reason you have to make sure it's clear is you pull this back, and there's a little, you see the gap there, that you want to get that back to right there, and then push on the other side, and I never can. Oh, I did it. What a man. Okay, get that out. It's getting back together. That's the struggle. Getting it off is the easy part. All right, just to show you the inside of a really nice 1911. Again, how it's made. These are a little more awkward to get apart and put back together than your stock, your standard 1911. Okay, because of the guide rod configuration and all that. So how's that for a cool looking barrel, huh? Fluted, okay, chamber barrel. And you know, I'm not sure why they do that. Probably just because it looks good, you think? My guess is, and I've not read any verbiage on that, you probably have, it would of course collect dirt. Well, not collect dirt, that sounded negative. It would provide a place for grit and grime to hide. So it would affect the function of the gun, so it's a positive thing. It also might aid in cooling the barrel a little bit, I don't know. So, pretty cool, 9mm, and you know, I mean, as far as just looking, there's nothing all that unusual. You know, you got your Series 70 style thing, you don't have the firing pin block, and just the machine work, you know, you don't see a lot of machine marks, obviously. Fits tight, like a drum, you know. They guarantee incredible accuracy on these firearms. And again, because you have you know, that different sort of barrel, you've got the reverse beveling there. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? That's look how the fit and everything is perfect around there. And that's pretty cool looking. It's kind of growing on me. When I first saw it, I didn't think it was so cool necessarily. It looked pretty strange. Right? And I'm nobody to really call anything strange, right? Okay. Now here's where I struggle a little bit. I'll be honest with you. Get ready for some struggling. I brought all my gear out here and get that lined up. And I almost put a little idiot scratch on it. And I am always bound and determined never to do that. Boy, it's tough with this one. Of course, it's brand new and it's tight and all that. So you gotta get that up there. And you don't know what I'm talking about. When you bring this up and around, you want it out far enough where it doesn't scratch the gun. And you bring it down and get in there. Okay, now you gotta get the slide back. Is the trick here. To the right spot again, which is not too hard, but getting it back in there. Oh, there we go. It's loosening up. Okay, you see I brought this out in case I had to pound it with wood. Okay, get a little bit better. That's one of the difficulties. You got an uncoordinated goofball like me trying to do it, and you got a new gun that is tight. Okay, it's not just enough to where it's not too bad. All right, and I didn't really scratch it, just barely on the finish there. All right. If anybody's going to put an idiot scratch on a gun, it ought to be me, right? Be appropriate. All right, so pretty cool gun. What have I not told you just before we shoot a little more? You know, that's a serious mag well right there. I like that. Again, when I was competing in IPSC, we all stuck those on our guns, of course. And if you don't know what that's for, I think you do. Although we always have new shooters and some really new shooters watching. It's for when you drop the magazine. Where's my, oh, there it is. Let's say I just emptied this magazine and I'm shooting a course of fire. Boom, 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 whatever. I release that one. As it's falling, before it touches the ground, I have the next one in there. See, I've got a nice target. It's easy to hit. So that's why you have kind of a mag well to funnels it right in there. Okay, and I'm ready to go. Continue shooting. Okay. Ideally, if you're competing, you're loading before that mag is empty. That makes sense. That doesn't always happen, of course, but if I have a round or two left in that magazine, or maybe none, but I still have one in the chamber and I'm shooting, I drop that mag, put the next one in. There's no slide dropping needed or anything like that. I just continue firing, and that was always your goal as you're going through a stage of fire, to not run it dry. Okay, for that reason, run it empty. excuse me, that's inside baseball talk, dry, empty. So let's load up here and shoot a little bit more. And some of this fine Federal 124 grain ammo. One of my favorite. I like 147 grain too. And we typically shoot mostly 124. And save the 147 or a lot of that for when we might have something that needs subsonic ammo. So these actually hold 10 rounds, these magazines, these Wilson magazines. This is I saw the model number on the bottom. The model number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You see that? That's funny. Okay. It's seem like quality magazines. I have long been impressed with Wilson magazines and have bought a lot of those over the years. If you recall back a couple of years ago, I would have a little trouble here and there with various magazines, and I just spent a fair amount of money and just bought a boatload of them. Wanted to eliminate that as an issue. They tend to work. Okay. So 9mm, you might like the gun and wish it were a 45, and I think, I'm not sure what all the calibers it will be available in or is available in, but I think it's most of your standard calibers. So you can probably have this firearm at some point, and about any of your favorite pistol rounds. Doubt that you'll get it in 30-06, but now a couple of these mags, if we have any trouble, I'll blame it on these. These are the ones, one of these I bought in the shop. I think they're Metgar. You know what that symbol stands for there, but one came with the Rock Island Armory and the other one I bought. So I know I shouldn't say Rock Island Armory in the same paragraph as I'm talking about the Wilson Combat, but these are the only 9mm 1911 magazines I possess. These two came with the firearm, of course. So we got those loaded up. All right. It's really neat to be able to shoot one of these. First time I have fired a Wilson Combat pistol, right? Yeah, I think so. And feels like a glove. I mean, it feels really good, I'll tell you. Yeah, I know I'm biased because even though I don't carry a 1911, they just still feel really good to me. They certainly do. I don't carry a Colt single action, but they feel really good to me. And these things, they shoot like a house of fire, no doubt about it. Because you've got a good feeling gun, there's checkering that you just lock right in, good sights, and good front sight. It really jumps out at you, and click, good trigger. So what else do you need? Let's use these old mags first. Okay, these off-brand mags. Again, we won't blame it on the gun if we have trouble from those. Let's shoot some. Oh, we got a target over here. Let's shoot this target. I know what let's do. Let's just put bullets all over it. Okay? I'll have an excuse. I'll just try to shoot semi-fast at it. All right. Make the protector look bad. Are we ready? Let's shoot that thing. Boy, I did throw them all over, didn't I? Let's see if we can get a couple in the middle now. All right. Oh, nothing like spraying. When you have a trigger like that, oh, that's fun. I don't need to go to the table. I've got some more ammo with me. Oh, let's just pop a turkey over there. Where it's going him. I think I hit him there once. Yeah. Man, that guy took 2 or 3 bullets. Let's try the chicken. All right, that's more like it. Let's try a little buffalo hunting. Oh, yeah, that one on the left. Let's try that little bitty pig above it. Okay, I think I have another mag. Yep. All right. This thing it'll drill. Let's drill some 12 ounces here. Feels good. Boy, I tell you, the only problem with having a gun like this is you can never blame it on the gun. You know, you just can't. You cannot blame it on the firearm because it will throw that bullet right where you have it pointed when you break the trigger. I'm gonna load one more magazine just so I can shoot a little bit more, because I don't know when I'll have another Wilson here at the compound, and we may shoot a few thousand rounds, wear it out before we send it back, but you know, I want to get a little bit of mileage out of it. We shot it, you know, before the video, and again, that's one thing I really appreciate Federal for. It's not just the ammo we use in the video when we're testing a gun, trying it out. Normally we don't, you know, use hundreds and hundreds of rounds, but sometimes we do, and we're using Federal ammo before as well as during the video, so with guns that are going to appear in video. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate Bill Wilson, or Wilson Combat. I keep calling Bill Wilson. I go so far back as I recall when he was a competitor. I think before I got into IPSC, he was one of the top dogs in the IPSC world, and was a hotshot competitor, as I recall. And then he started making gun parts and guns. All right. Oh, 2 liter. Thought you were going to get away without being shot, huh? Well, first of all, let's knock off that piece of cinder. Okay. Get this guy. Make him bleed a little bit. And then let's just shoot something. Oh man, I could see the brass flying. That was a pretty sight. The sun or the light was on. I've got to shoot one more mag. Sorry, John, to go hold the camera just a little bit longer. You folks need to stay with me a little bit longer. I can't resist. There's something alluring, or that lures you in when a firearm has a great trigger, and it has a great feel, it has great sights, and the sights are on. It's hard to put it down. It really is. If you've ever played a sport, you know, like basketball, you know, maybe it's time to go into the house, but you're out there shooting around, you just can't quit. It's kind of the way I am, I guess. All right. This thing feels good. What do we want to shoot? We didn't shoot many of those, did we? Well, we got one magazine. We'll get them in the next video. I just have a bad feeling about that cowboy. He's been looking at me very strangely through the whole video. I just felt like he needed a little machine gunning, and you can kind of do that with one of these things. Anyway, Wilson Combat Protector. Now the new model. You know, it's all carbon steel. It's got that what's it, that forget what it's called, something tough finish that you know, is supposed to be really good finish. Protects it well, and you know, it's a good looking gun, again, except for the rails, in my opinion. Other than that, it's a great looking gun, and it is a great feeling gun. It has a great balance to it, the shorter slide and the full length grips. For some of you folks that are looking for one of these premium 1911s like this, I'm sure it's be high on your list in some caliber. So Wilson Combat, need I say more? Great gun. Life is good.